Hi YouTube, this is definitely not the first, this is definitely not the second recording. Wait, he said choose my favorite time? I don't have a favorite time, so I'm just gonna do the current time. $2:53, your favorite time of day, yeah. Or you could simply not resist giving me the correct time. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. I'm curious how accurate 2:53 is. Let's use another slider to find out. It's Well, it's slightly inaccurate now because it's a minute behind. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I have a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how these things be said. Good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. We will a couple new ones up. Should be ready the next time you boot up the game. Okay, well. If we have to boot up the game again.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay, now we're gonna actually watch this.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room
Experiment
427
626.
and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And
He
although
hammered
others might have
hammers.
considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Oh,
And
that's all I
then one
missed?
day, something
Oh,
very
no, okay.
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I got an achievement for quitting the game and starting again. What was the other one for? I bet you there's like an achievement for sitting at your desk for awarded for getting any of the other achievements as your first. Oh, nice. No, I don't. Hello? Anybody here?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Beautiful mountain. Hello? What happened here? I hate Mondays. The perfect coffee cup.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I'm not gonna
Perhaps
do
he
what you
wanted
tell
to
me to
stop
do.
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
I love
A
that.
room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Mm-hmm. How long could I stay here and how many...
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Oh no! Is it because of me? How much longer can you stay in here?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Oh, begin the game again? That's interesting. Also, the clock's wrong. That's not the time. Is it wrong? No. Yeah, yes, it is. There's probably not more dialogue, but I'm gonna stay here in the just in case. There might be one more dialogue, but it might take longer, or it's never gonna happen. Okay, I'm leaving.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
I did?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I'm telling you, I'm not gonna do the correct way. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. For jumping off, 5,000?
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Man, they
All of
like...
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
They prepared for every...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Yeah, we'll go the right way this time. Does the game just end when we go in here, though?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
We're broke Wednesday. Boring meeting notes. Targets push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Why is Chris in the broom closet? Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep targets on the topic of something. Future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Oh, this was the boss appreciate minute. Circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Oh, okay. Solving interpersonal conflict. I'm not reading that. Why do we hire you? Remember that it takes two people to start a fight. Right now, you're both of them. What are your dreams for the future? Spring break. Pollution. A boat. Metamorphosis. That's not even spelled right. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less and do unbelievably amazing work all the time every day with no expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let a ball up inside you, take it out passive aggressively. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. Everyone is unique, you most of all. Number of slides on the slide. Charts, slides and charts. Slides. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts, please. Begging. Stop. Okay. Monetize free to play. Please don't. Oh, there's someone in here.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yo, I'm gonna follow the path this time around. We can go other paths later. Oh. I gotta take a piss. Extreme bathrooms? What the hell? Well, they put the toilet paper correct. To be rich is a crime. Is it a crime? Yes. To commit crimes, isn't it rich? No. Hello?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Are we on TV? It's backstage. It is interesting. We could have gone in the other elevator too. Weird elevator?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I didn't.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I don't believe you.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ah! I didn't die.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from
I
a
wonder what
blind
I
man.
do.
And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator,
What?
as Stanley was led helplessly
What?
into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
What?
killing him instantly.
But I'm still... alive. Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly
Oh,
did
we're
the
on the title
narrator
screen
think he was
now.
going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now?
That was my
Do you
office.
see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Filing cabinets. Office computers. Oh, solitaire. Infinite loading. Installation. The office. Ba 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 da 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 da. Boop boop boo doo 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 doo. War zone. What the fuck? Where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We would realize shortly after starting to build it. It was far too joking on the nose for tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. You know? That is fair. Fun. Narrator emails. After the second trailer was sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotion materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of the emails. Are You Gay by Dick Dunk. Regarding the game of the year murder, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is why I'm eager to see a sequel. Okay. Dear narrator, will the Stanley Parable have infinite quests? How many endings? You're really gonna let me go shopping? I hope it will have a fine selection of desert boots. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? A what? What? How is the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Question: Are you a rock? Well, chat, are you? What is this strange number? Could you tell me the significance of the number 1112800 is? Thing I want to know is what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? I have burning questions. Were you bored with magnificent voice? What is Stanley's last name? It's Parable. Okay. Interesting. Among Us. Different. Was I supposed to come here? I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I feel like it's a museum of the game I haven't played yet. This place is huge. Okay, we're gonna exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Nope.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Oh.
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Huh. I wonder what happened if you do quit there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is
I could
that
drop
the
down
story
there
has
too.
been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you... What? Really? I was in the middle of of something? Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
But I don't want to go
Let
that
me
way. I'll
prove
go
it.
this
Let me
way.
prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Did that say danger everywhere? I think this said danger everywhere. So that's not a good sign. No buckets past this point. Wait, is there a bucket somewhere I can pick up? I want to carry a bucket. There's no buckets. Oh, this is a bucket, kind of. More like a barrel, I guess, not a bucket. Bucket.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I did?
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
This game's
Oh,
great.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see
I mean,
that
I didn't have a
really
choice,
have
so.
wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't
This isn't
here.
how hallways
Running
work.
and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
What?
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
What?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
I don't know. What the hell is happening?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Okay. I don't.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll
Yeah,
lose
we
all
know.
of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
No.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
I don't know who you are. My legs.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it.
Okay, we'll
I
go
don't
back.
know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Yeah, they really every scenario. If I had just jumped off there twice, he probably would have said something else.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
Okay. I also want to point out I'm not walking slow on purpose. Every time we fall, I think our legs get more and more broken. I think we have to climb again. All good, Colo. What happens if we fall again? Death for real? Whee!
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yep, sorry.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's completely go the correct way every time for now.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Then we go to the
Feeling a
office.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was
2485.
once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
This is different
But his
already.
attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
2845. I was close.
Of course, Stanley couldn't
I had the
possibly
4 and the
learn this.
8 mixed up.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
This time we're not going to go to the escape, because that just leads to the museum. Oh, I'm glad it doesn't make us ride the elevator the whole time. The second time.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I sure did. Why am I here?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
What is
thought
this,
to
the
himself. Did he
portal
have the strength to find out?
science aperture place? Hello? Employee observation protocol.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
That's
the number
every
of an
employee.
employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives
We're
of so many
247, so we're like
individuals reduced to images on a screen.
somewhere
And
in the middle.
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
247. We're down there.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never!
Absolutely
It was
not.
unthinkable, wasn't it? Was
Yep,
it even
I'm not
possible?
controlling you.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
It's like The
And as
Sims.
the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Five.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood
I wonder
for.
what happened to you on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley,
The video
I applaud
game?
your effort, I really do.
Control?
But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode,
Oh.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Where's the 3
What's that?
button?
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely
Is there
in this
a-
instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try
That's
to make
2.
sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
What-
I almost hate to see it go.
What does this all
But I'm
mean?
sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this
Oh, there's
so
the
much.
2.
You know what?
Where's the
To
3?
hell with it. I'm
I
going
found
to
2
put
and
some
1.
extra
Where's
time
3?
on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
3.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Shut the
These
fuck
numbered
up.
buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this
I already
door.
tried the red button, didn't do it
Everything,
shit.
anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Till the moment you say what? Okay, well I have to do that again, but I have to click off. See what that does.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely
Also different
I was
dialogue?
mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
Oh, it's 4:27. I was looking at the wrong. Okay, so we know the narrator's kind of out of his mind.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
We also have to go
Stanley
downstairs
walked
eventually.
upstairs to his boss's office.
We also got to go down the elevator at some point. So many different paths.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few
Oh my
moments
god.
with some calming
It's
new age
gonna make
music.
me wait. Books.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Loading.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Me?
Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life.
427,
Their true
that's
nature
me.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
that's my desk.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he
No.
truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
I wonder if the
Walking,
buttons actually
eating,
don't do
working,
anything.
all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible... blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet,
I've done it.
even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
And
For
none
it was
of
not
it
knowledge or even
mattered.
power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was
Ooh.
all he needed to
I want to
know.
live here.
It was
There's a
perhaps
train.
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I did it. I beat the game. Oh, that's technically beating the game. Damn, if you just beeline to the end. Hold on. What happens if we reset the game again? Because they said I would have more slider bars. Welcome back. We beat the game, Colo. Now we have like a billion other paths to go. Oh, until the cat and dogs are friends. Yay! They're friends. Please adjust the slider till the number 5 becomes the number 9. That's technically 9. No, I'm gonna do this because this is 9. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the two made-up words below is more scrumtush or occuboinkle? I like I like the word boinkle. Occuboinkle. Please don't adjust the slider. Can't tell me what to do. Do I know what time it is right now? No. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes. What is time anyway? No. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yes. Help. No. Will you come to visit, back to visit me? Probably. Dude, I love games like this. I like self-aware games.
This is the story of...
Okay, we already.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're gonna go to the meeting room, but this time we're gonna go downstairs.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
No, we're gonna go
he entered the door on
upstairs.
his left.
Just so I can like kind of keep track of where I've been. We're gonna go to the
Yet
elevator.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his coming to a staircase. Stanley walked
Go up to the
upstairs to
office.
his boss's office.
This time we're gonna go to this elevator though. Wait. It won't let me in. But it did before. Then that's what the boss Oh, that's different. Oh, well. Fuck.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an inch. All of his
How did I get to
co-workers
the
were
elevator
gone.
last time?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, we'll go downstairs first then.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here.
I should have gone down when I had the chance.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Parking
But
garage.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility
How
of
is this
facing
car
his
in here?
boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
I guess it
He
goes
might
into
be
the
fired
elevator
for
and then
that.
parks. That doesn't
And in
make
such a
sense.
competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished.
1, 2
His boss
before.
would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
I
single
made my
moment, for
family
no reason at all.
disappear.
None of it made any logical sense.
What is this, Home Alone?
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh my god.
Why did doors close
Where did my feet go?
behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space
Why am I
on a
floating?
magical starfield, and it too appeared.
No.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Did I
How
just
was
go?
he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that
I also want to know about
think?
this car.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely,
Can this voice
surely,
stop
if
yapping?
he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this.
That never works.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
I want to push the buttons.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always
Tear
been.
down my house. Tear down my kids.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Stanley? We're still in the same spot we were.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley.
Yes.
I have a boss. I have an office.
Stanley
I am
began
real.
screaming.
Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Um.
She rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man
Stanley's
who had
dead?
stumbled through town talking
No.
and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call
Hey, it's
for
the
an
car.
ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
But do you, though?
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
What?
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
Are you really
She
in
had no
control?
time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Well, that was
What could it mean? Stanley
interesting.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
I'm gonna
simply
try to
missed
go to
the
the
number.
elevator again, but I don't know if it's gonna. New content. Is this what was added with the? I don't want to go that way yet.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
I haven't
on
done
his
all the
left.
old content yet. It must have been added with the deluxe edition.
Yet there was not a single person here.
Because I know
either.
this is actually
Feeling
kind of a
wave
sequel.
Disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, the first time I went here, I went to the bathroom first. Money's for stealing, but not of course. That's a lovely purse. I don't know you. Hey, the door opened this time. Is that a panda with a... Don't shoot the panda! Oh, does this go up and down? Oh, it goes both ways. Well, let's go up first. Stanley. Where are we going? Are we just gonna go up forever? We live here now. The devs decided to mess with him. That sounds like these devs. That's amazing. Did they like add stuff to his version of the game or something? Or did they just like mess with him in chat? Is the elevator shaking more? Are you... Does this not go anywhere? They put a QR into the code that leads to StanleyPurple2.com, but instead of the normal promotional video, it shows German stream as Expo Visitor live feed. That's incredible. I don't think this elevator goes anywhere. No, okay. I'm just gonna begin the game again then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now we're gonna go back the other way, because there was...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Have I taken this door yet? No, actually I haven't.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, that brings me back to the meeting room. No, I didn't do that. I went down.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Even the narrator doesn't even know where we go.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
He's rustling the papers. Where do I go?
Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Hello? Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed
Oh,
to
this
be
is...
here yet. This
We're
is
up
all
here
a
now.
spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Yes.
We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Not spoilers, I've been here.
Completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Okay, let's go
decided to go to
back.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what?
What happened to the...
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted.
Oh, we're
the
still on
game
that
over,
path.
Completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
I just
did you
looked.
move the story somewhere or...
There's a TV on, though.
Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
It's true.
It was right here just a minute ago.
I didn't do
I'm
shit.
sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
I like this way. This is like escape the backrooms now.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I still know it's a different one because this would stay the new content.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
This is different. Oh. I'm scared.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Oh, we won.
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay, we're restarting again.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
This isn't right.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Oh no, don't make me play that.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we
That made me go
implying a
this way.
journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being by the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Wait. Wait.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Will it?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Also, the pathway I went was one of like 3 different paths. If you go this way, then it's... Oh, no. This changed. It saved the path. Because before it was at this... Because I already went the way, it stuck it. But there was definitely 3 different paths.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh, we're back here again.
No, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through...
Employee
I can't
fired.
take this anymore, to hell with it.
What happened to Employee
Restart.
104?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Which direction? This one?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Why did it go in the ceiling?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
My mouse.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here.
Boop, 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 boop.
And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, Our destiny awaits.
The confusion ending? You've been playing the confusion ending for
What's this?
17 minutes.
The confusion ending.
Do
You're telling
deviate
me
maintenance end up in the
that's what
monitor
this
room.
is?
Restart,
It's all
first
one giant
restart.
ending?
I can
Am I
restart.
supposed to restart the game eight times?
It's all-
That's really how all this goes?
Stanley dies. No!
Determined? So now, according to
Find a
the schedule, I
bookstore.
restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
Find the confusion ending
Oh.
schedule. We'll restart the game.
Well, who can
Never
stop
forgets
me?
about the
Why
previous
don't I get to
restarts.
decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
It's Groundhog Day.
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't
What
you
happens if
agree?
I restart it?
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Okay, well,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
we-
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
yep, that's the end of that. That just ended.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What happens if we go this way, but
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
does this just lead...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Yeah, this just
decided to
leads
go
to
up
this.
to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
I'm
boss's
assuming nothing
office.
else is different. Yeah, I'm gonna...
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
I did kind of... I saw what looked like someone going the opposite way. At one point.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he
We just
wasn't
have to
5
go to the
years
other
ago.
side. We haven't been there yet.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh,
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
what if I don't pick up?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white
I didn't
light
pick up the
engulfed
phone.
him, filling him not just with
I unplugged
radiance,
the phone.
but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Nope.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
I just
You
unplugged it.
actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I'm a real person.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find
2
yourself
+ 4
speaking with
=
a
fish.
person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed
No,
to be
it's
having a
4:16.
back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis.
Yeah,
is the
I'm just
best
playing
part
this
to
for
a
the first
healthy
time. I didn't even
decision-making process.
know there was a challenge
Most
today.
medical
That's
professionals recommend making at least 8 choices
crazy
per
that
day.
I
Do you make more than
somehow
8?
did that.
Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of
Evermean.
space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At
Whoa,
this
that's
time,
cool.
your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may
What the
have
fuck
noticed
happened
that
here?
this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry.
Oh.
Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Yeah, I'm sure 100 people will beat it by then. I'll have to check that out, though. That sounds interesting. Now where am I going?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the
Oh,
platform and dying. Imagine the
but-
main character dying senselessly
You
halfway
let me
through
off.
the story. That story would make
all the
no sense
different
at all.
fences.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Don't tell me what to do. I will keep lying. Yeah, that's really unlucky. I'm sorry you're not able to participate, but
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
what if I
All
don't?
right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
It's all broken. What happened in this room? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, I'll go the correct way. I guess. Oh, but it's already ruined.
I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that you... My story! You've destroyed my work! Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely... I'll look into it and see if it's something I want to
shut the game down.
check out after I
have to
play this today. Oh. Is this the bad ending? I think this is the bad ending.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
I don't know, it looks
the
fun
only
to
thing
me.
in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story.
Well,
if you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and
I've already
been
seen it.
It would have been so perfect.
I've already done that.
I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. How about if we go the correct way? Oh, everything's correct.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I knew
Coming
it.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I really don't want me veering off. What the fuck?
Stepping inside his manager's office,
Manager's
Stanley
office?
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
This is
life.
different.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the
We still
answers
have to
his
go that pathway and
questions.
answer the
And
phone.
beyond all probability, he knew the passcode.
We're still on the
He had seen
unplug
it
the
on his
phone
boss's
path.
computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was
Do I
only
actually have to-
one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself
Night
the
Shark
courage to face
115?
the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. It didn't.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark
Oh, okay.
115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I did speak. Night Shark 115. Do I need to have like a... I don't think there is a microphone in this game. I don't think I'm actually supposed to say anything.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you?
No, I'm saying it.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I did speak clearly, it's not working.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it?
No.
But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell
I already
you
did
wanted
that.
over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
I'm on the... help.
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Is everything
Oh, the credits, okay.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
I broke the credits. Okay.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself.
What?
Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
No, I get it. We have to answer the phone now.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for... This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the...
Fine. Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Bread?
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want
Yes.
to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh. What if I don't do that?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Off. So small.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh, it's turning
Now
into my
he's
office.
pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world,
My dinner.
he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
No.
How could there possibly
My
be?
wife became a
In
desk.
reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, what if I put... Anything gonna happen, or we just...
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Maybe this time.
And I tried again.
Please
Pushed a button.
die.
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
I want to look something up. I want to see if there's anything to the buttons in the mind control area or not. Or if it's... You could do stuff. None of the buttons have any effect. Okay. That's all I needed to know. I think I've done...
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Let's go with the new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
New content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable,
More
delighting
game.
audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing
What if it's literally
adventure.
what if it's nothing?
Is it broken? What's going on here?
I really hope it's
Should
just
we-
nothing.
Should we be moving somewhere or... oh,
Oh,
there we
nope,
go.
it's going,
All right,
okay.
finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Infinite elevator.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Dude's excited for new content. The
All right.
jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
You can only jump in the circle, though. Oh, I can't jump anymore. I used up all my jumps.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Maybe.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
No,
It's
this is
just
getting a
elevators and jumping.
1
Is this
star
what
on
passes for
Steam.
exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance
that
department
real?
signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my
Well, if
fault,
that doesn't
Stanley.
exist anymore,
I built up
sorry.
too much anticipation around the new content, I'm
I
afraid.
need to see
It
if
could
this
never have lived
is
up to such
actual
expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley
Test
Parable is really about.
achievement.
No
Please
frills,
replace
no
this.
gimmicks.
It's
Just
real.
you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, this is great. Oh. Oh, hey, it's where I normally go.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something. Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway. Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Damn.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What the fuck?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh, it's the original.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Okay, this is kind of too real right now. With all the, especially with the Xbox stuff going on. Original buy on Steam. $15,000-year-old ultra conserved words. 24 words whose sound and meaning have survived the past 15,000 years. You mean the alphabet? Oh my god, the old Firefox. Oh yeah, back when the URL and the search bars were different. Crazy. Smile because it happened. $1. It is impossible to get this achievement. Don't play for 5 years. Wait. Okay, that's not. Wait, no. There's a new achievement for this version. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Wait. I bet you can unlock that if you just change the time on your computer. The achievement is, it says super don't go outside. That's hilarious. You probably could easily get around that. Wait, why am I nostalgic for this? I never... I mean, I guess I did watch it.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
But this is the new content. You're silly, you made the content. Person of the year. Hello, font for real. Stanley Parable's been
moving passage,
very
this
silly.
time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
The serious room. I want to go to the serious room. Where do
I... These were simpler times, Stanley.
Ah, the maintenance.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
It
What's
was,
this?
yeah,
What's
Colo.
down here?
That's what the picture on the wall showed, the old achievement. That's why I was like, I'm gonna look. And there's a one for 10 years. Which is very silly.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam.
Uh-oh.
The online video game distributor.
Not
I haven't looked at these in
Steam.
years. I can't even imagine what's
Uh-oh.
been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I hope so. We know how Steam reviews can be. Oh no.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
What?
Funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art.
I don't know, I think he's
I
pretty
suppose I
funny.
could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights.
Dude, shout out to that person who got their review put in the game. Imagine despising a game and then they put your review in the game. Yeah, fucked.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me.
What do we mean, no choice?
I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Keep walking. Uh-oh, this one's in the water.
What's this
10
one got to
hours on
say?
record.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
The kind of... Oh my god. How did you
Skip
play
button.
10 hours?
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable.
Whoa.
That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
But I don't want a skip button. What if I don't push the button?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah.
Fine.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue.
Nope, I heard it because I listened to it.
Flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button.
You were rambling randomness for no reason.
Self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over.
It's gonna do it again.
I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated.
I actually don't know either.
How Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial, something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
What? Okay.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one...
Oh, the door's gone.
I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door
I don't know.
go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
There was.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't
Where'd my
think
door go?
one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall?
Yes.
Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
What if I press the skip button?
Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Da 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 da. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. That's an achievement. Oh, I guess in the jumping part, I could have kept trying to jump and it would have given me achievement. Click on door 435 times. Set all setting sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. What does that even mean?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I'm assuming this is what it means.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I'd hold it, but it skips numbers.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story.
I think that was all the sliders. Didn't do anything. Maybe I didn't understand what it meant. Set all the settings sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. Or do I have to apply it every time?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, I would have changed that sooner. So does waiting actually do anything? Or do we have to push the button? I'm assuming we have to push the button.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the
Oops.
skips are getting longer, but they're really,
You
truly
didn't
getting
fix
longer.
the
And
door,
my
though.
God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely
It's been
gone.
12 hours.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything
Does it
else,
double
I don't
every
know how
time
to
I push
stop you
it?
from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise.
Because maybe this building will
And it's all because of those reviews.
fall down.
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've
Oh,
never
Cookie
even met
Nine.
Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections.
Get in
And I become as
line.
petulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely
You got
you'll
a
not
plant?
be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Uh-oh.
Back. Oh, my goodness.
It's been a
I
really
have
long
someone
time.
to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
It's
I've been
been
sitting
the
here
plant's
all that
dead.
time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with.
Most of the lights are
And you
broken.
think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
I can't
Would you think
speak
that
to
it's
you.
exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to
Why
know
is there
that
light
someone
back
was
here?
listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to
Okay,
him...
I'm sorry.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Oh, plant's completely
I
dead.
have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
Oh, the
I've
clock's
had
broken now,
so
too.
much time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
A year?
Have you ever sat
Uh-oh.
down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed
Is this building gonna
opportunities.
start
I felt
collapsing around
nothing
us?
at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need
Everything
to
everywhere all at
manifest a
once.
particular outcome into being.
Good movie,
I
by the
saw
way.
that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Maybe. Hello? Is he dead? The narrator's dead. Oh, I got the don't you can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it achievement. Because I tried to jump. No, seriously, it's gone. Uh-oh. What's beeping? Stop beeping! Some of the clock fell off. Is it the smoke alarm?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Bro.
But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They
So
had
the
to leave a
narrator's just
pathetic
losing
little
his mind.
thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain.
Hope that's dead. Everything's dead. It's been a millennial.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never
Oh,
the
wait.
end, is never the
Now the
end,
button's
is never
broken.
the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is
Uh-oh.
never the end, is 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 never
Uh-oh.
the end, is never the end,
That's
is never
not
the
good.
end, is never the 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 end, is never the
Yeah.
end, is never the 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 end.
Is this place flooded completely yet? More drippies. Yeah, I think we're literally gonna just keep pressing the skip button until this building collapses around us. Hey, I was right. Pipes collapsed. Part of the ceiling. This wall's... the way out. Narrator. Where'd you go? Oh, look. Narrator's probably dead. It's probably been like 100 years. Uh-oh. What happened? Um... When did this turn into a horror game? Skip ahead? Oh no! The skip button fell over. The building fell over. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. That was it. There's still another way we could go, too.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh, the narrator's
What
live.
could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay. Secondary new content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
It
The
is.
original Stanley
We just
parable
went
was a
through time.
landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable.
Oh
2.
shit. The sequel.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll
427.
cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so
I do
many
like the
possibilities. It
making
could
the
go in
2 red
so
and
many
then
different directions.
theming it.
This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Is that Katie or Clover with the raid? I see you change your name. I love the new name, Cold Brew Clover. Are you want to go by Clover now? Welcome in, Raiders. How's everyone doing? How was the stream? How was Scarlet Violet? What were you doing? Clover, Katie is fine. Okay. I will keep that in my brain. I hope you had a good stream, though. Thank you for the raid. We're playing... I've never played Stanley Parable, so I decided to play it. Which is funny, because apparently there's like a challenge going on that the devs set up, where they made like a hard mod for this game or something. So I might check that out for another stream, but very interesting timing. So yeah, we've been playing this. It's been very fun and silly. And weird. A ROM hack called Pokemon Elysium. Oh, cool. I think I've heard of that. I hope it was a good time. What's like the premise of the ROM hack, or what kind of ROM hack is it? I love Pokemon ROM hacks. But yes, lately I feel like I've just been playing whatever I feel like. I don't really have a specific kind of game I play. I just play about anything. If it appeals to me. I will be playing the new Donkey Kong game when that comes out, which I'm very excited for.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean?
It means it's Ultra Deluxe.
Parable 2. Now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented.
The
It
squeakle.
screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
We're currently playing. We're playing Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, and this is the Ultra Deluxe added content for the deluxe version. It's very silly. What is this? Off painting K. Off painting D. Off painting D's nuts. I do like the idea of making it a modern office instead of the old office. 2. More TS, better TSP. The color red. It's a brain.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley
I was
Parable
gonna say, we're
2
just
is
kind of
going to
walking.
be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Scrum.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game
Design
will sort of
pitch.
naturally
Pitch design.
spring up around
Number
them.
2 chat.
It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City. Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls 2. I don't know if many people agree with you. Definitely not the last one. Although I do like Aladdin 2. This way to the show floor. Let me out. New features. New content. There's a city bus. Two.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh, merch. The end is never the end. This t-shirt is the best new feature. It's a button that says the name of the player of the game? Why is this room so big?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself,
Oh.
what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Too
So with
big.
that
It
in
looks like
mind,
cheese.
My first addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Wow. You outdid yourself.
Jim.
That's
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says
That's
the name
not my
Jim.
name.
But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
How do I...
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath.
Okay,
clear your
guys.
mind,
Pretend
forget
you're
whoever
Jim.
you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Oh.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim?
Jim kind
right
of sucks.
now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am Jim now.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button.
But
I'm
the
too
Jim
emotionally
button's so
drained
fun.
from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
My Jim button, no. They took it from me. They ruined it. Let's see what other features this Stanley Parable 2 has.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
What is this? Reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Can I be Jim as I hold the
As long as you
bucket?
hold onto the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes.
Oh, you can't
the
say that.
bucket is the perfect solution.
Can't say ass.
Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. Do I just hold the bucket forever now?
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video
They
game?
should.
That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Office decorations, infinite hole. Marf? Is your Minecraft hole in there? Ray traced. Jump circle. Ah, that's the exit. New and easy achievement. Pull the lever, receive the chest.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm
Guys,
developing a
it just
technology
works.
to simply give you the achievement.
Is
Yes,
that
you see,
supposed to
you'll
be
come
a
to this
shot
lever,
at Todd
and when you
Howard?
pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
It has to be. Okay. Oh, is this how I get that achievement?
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I'm gonna kick this stupid machine. Give me my achievement! Screw you two.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Oh.
Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Oh,
I
cool.
don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Am I gonna get a Stanley poop?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Oh, there's a couple of other rooms I didn't go to.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday.
Get
Which
well
would you go
someday.
with?
Oh. I like Get Well Someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy
I knew it.
12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Happy
Or
12th
actually,
birthday step.
maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Okay. Did I miss? We did the jump circle. We're at the map. Free achievement, name, merch. Settings world champion. Wait, I want to do that. Where's that? I'm here. It's next to, okay. The infinite hole we haven't gone to either. Oh, is that what's over there? Hold on. Wait. What there? Oh, is it up there? Mayhaps? It won't let me in. Percy. Nope. Okay. The infinite hole. Whoa.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video game. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Okay then. That's an idea. I want to see how to do this one achievement. "100% cheat guide." That's what I want. Show subtitle and show thumbnail. What was the other thing? Show what? Show translation. There's a hidden. That's why I didn't get it. I think if we do this, I think that door opens. We did it!
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement.
You are
Well
the
done.
champion!
You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called bumpscosity. What exactly is bumpscosity?
What is that?
I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
There's one more door over here.
An epilogue would
Epilogue?
be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah. It would go at the end of the, yeah. I think that's everything. Give me this now. Nope. Yes. Because I'm probably going to be ending shortly. Do-do-do.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
You know the funny thing is, this came out before the Switch 2, and they went for the color red for the Stanley Parable 2, and that's exactly what the Switch is. And they just did a red 2. I was wondering why I was like, this looks so familiar. Because it's the Switch 2. How do they know? Nintendo stole from Stanley Parable. Ooh, I like these amphitheater kind of things.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Holy shit.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, we're gonna play it? Oh god. But I don't know if I have time. It's probably not anything long.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
It's just the game
Stanley worked for a company
with
in a
some
big
of the
building
new stuff
where he was
inserted.
employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished
His
every
camera
moment
angle's
that
different.
orders came in.
Yes, they
Stanley
are.
had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind
I've clicked it like 40 times.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction.
My favorite thing is the
with
achievement
true
says click it
effort
5
of a
times.
cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
But even if you do that, he doesn't give it to you.
No, I'm still not feeling it.
I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Are you fucking... Where's door 417? There's 420.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he... Oh, great! Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Where's 4...
Excellent! I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437.
This is stupid.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
I don't know where the copy machine... Almost called it a coffee machine. Where's the copy machine? Isn't it here? No. Oh, hey.
Stanley picked up the bucket. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
I don't know where that is. 423. I guess it's further. Oh, is it here?
Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416. We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
This is all for an achievement that said...
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on... Yes! We did it!
Yay!
Wow! That felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Are we just playing the game with the bucket?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's okay, Bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
Probably.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would...
We did it, Bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life.
I want to sneeze on every country on Earth.
They'd lived together, with one
The
another
ultimate
to lean on,
goal.
to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
Uh-oh.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face.
The
This
game
building
wasn't done
did
yet.
not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, will go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Okay.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
It's all the
He
same.
looked down at the bucket in his arms.
Oh.
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by
There's
one bucket
buckets.
after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity.
I guess we have to do all the different paths again with the bucket.
He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him.
Oh my
all
god,
along.
I'm the bucket.
It was incredibly painful.
It's inside me.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Okay, we died.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
She found the bucket.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I found the No, this isn't for me. It really is a meme. A mod. I probably won't do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Why is it a
Stanley
different...
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, I'm gonna... Hopefully, I don't think it'll save me here, but... Well, I guess we can... I don't know. Hopefully it resumes from here. I have to end, though. I think it'll let me continue from there. I might play this again just to see all the other bucket endings. The added content's pretty silly so far. But I need to end because it's dinner time. But thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna find someone to raid. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tomorrow because it's the first day of GDQ, and I would like to watch. But thank you all for watching. Who to raid? Who to raid? I know we just raided Donut, but we could raid Donut again. I like raiding Donut. I actually think I raided him last stream, but that's okay. I don't know who else to. I don't have anyone else to raid. Click all the links, do all the things. Copy the raid message. We're gonna go raid Donut. He's playing some more Death Stranding 2. Oh, you two, I'm sorry. Bye. Thanks for watching.